Happy Sunday, guys. So no Sunday sale today because I planned on being gone. And the project that I had planned for tonight, I can't do because I'm not at my sister's house because I stayed home since I'm not feeling good. And I actually went to the doctor today, and turns out that I have an ear infection and the cold. So I've pretty much been camped out on the couch, binge watching The Originals, which is kind of like a part of the Vampire Diaries if you are into vampire shows. So the only thing that I had laying around that I could do a quick project on is just kind of repeating the candy ribbon wreath that I had done before. And I say repeating it because before I had got the ribbon that has the wire on the edge, and it just really wasn't probably what the person who did it the first time actually used, because once you fold it, then it's like permanently bent, and it just didn't work quite how I thought. Now, this stuff, I just got it at Walmart, and it is double-sided. So last time I put 2 rolls together, like it said in the directions. This stuff I just got at Walmart, and it is 1.5 inches wide and 9 foot long. So if we don't need it all, then I will just cut it off where we don't need it. But what I don't like about this is, can you see where the hole's going through? It's kind of gathering it. It's like causing, what do you call it? A run, basically, just like if it was in your pantyhose or a sweater or something. And I already kind of threaded some of these on, so I'm not even really sure why I'm doing this step. But I used this black wire again that I did the first time because I felt like that worked pretty well. I actually forgot to grab some tape, so we'll see how that works at the end. And I just made a circle, and I tried to use my hands to get it to lay as flat on the table as I possibly could. And then I just threaded the ribbon onto the end of the wire. But that causes that run. And then also, it's not like it's perfect in the sense that it doesn't want to go on very easily. So I thought maybe with this different type of ribbon that it would go through, it's like cloth where it's put together and there's holes in it. So I thought the holes were going to work better in this than they did. So I'm just eyeballing it. You're wanting to make your loops about 3 inches long, and so we're going about 1.5 inches on each side, give or take, because again, I'm just eyeballing it because I know from doing the other one, it doesn't really have to be too perfect. But the nice thing about using that owl is that it gives you a hole so that you can thread your fabric through a little bit easier, your ribbon through, because it just the fabric wants to pull. Snag, I guess would be a better word. It wants to snag on the ribbon. So you can try that technique. Before, I was using one of my long needles and doing it. And the nice thing about that is that then you could just like pull it all the way off. Whereas this, I have to go back up on the owl. So that technique is not working as good. But you can see it's really running, especially on this one because I obviously didn't stab it very well. So we're putting the wire through the hole that I made with the owl, or trying to get close so that it will thread on there. And I wanted to make that first hole with the owl because I was trying not to get it to snag this ribbon, but it looks like it's going to no matter what I do. So I would say don't even worry about doing the owl to start with. I would just simply come in here, and I can kind of tell where the center is based off of the red stripe that's going through it. I don't know, might have to stick a hole in it because it just doesn't want to go. But you can see already it's so much easier to work with than when I had the stuff with the wire going through it. So we'll try one more time, and then we're gonna start using the needle. I think the needle technique was the best, and I only did a couple of them like that. Because otherwise, you can see here, it's just snagging the ribbon. And not that I think you're really even gonna see it, but still. Okay, so if we go back to getting started again, and I'm gonna use the needle this time because we can pull it all the way through. And it is the needle that has the crooked end because I cannot find the other needle. Okay, so I need to go the other direction. So I think doing the needle and then you can pull it off the end, and that at least gives us a little bit of a hole to start with. And I think my ability to guesstimate where an inch and a half is not going very well. So hopefully we're not getting this all twisted up. But because I said I was going to do 25 days of Christmas, I didn't want to not do it. So I figured I could handle doing this for 15 minutes or so. So I think we finally got our Christmas presents done and wrapped. Nothing like waiting until the last day to do a couple of things. So hopefully you guys are all ready. And even though I'm sick, I have been craving puppy chow like nobody's business. So I did make some puppy chow yesterday and washed my hands a lot. So hopefully the kids didn't get sick. We didn't take it anywhere, but it's not like they're not getting my germs in the house anyway. That's my theory anyway. And the weather in Iowa is insane right now. It's like mid-50s. And then last time when I put the two ends together, I didn't think about that very clearly. And so I'm going to pull that through. But I came up with a different technique after I had done the other one, and I think it'll go much, much better. And I was really hoping that was going to help us with our holes, but I'm not thinking that it's going to, because when I go back to stab it in the hole, I end up sticking it in where another piece of thread is, and that is not working. Now I got my ring hooked on the frame. So I'd be interested if any of you tried this after the last time I did it and came up with a better technique, because I thought this was going to go so much smoother. I think it's going to look better. I mean, not that the other one didn't look good. I think it'll look better, but and I think because you're using less ribbon, it's probably a little bit cheaper. Originally, I had looked in the Christmas aisle, and that's why I'd gotten the wire-edged ribbon. And then this time when I went back, because I decided that the wire was not the way to go, but I wanted to do another one, I just went to the craft section. And surprisingly, I don't know if it was just because it is around Christmas time that they had red and white stripe. They actually had a couple of different options, and this was the one that I liked better. So even though it's not going through the hole perfectly, at least I kind of know I'm not having to think about the middle and being in the right spot because my hole is already started. But I really don't know what else you could do to make this go a little bit smoother. On my last one, I used the hot glue gun to fold over the ribbon because it was a kind of ribbon that was going to fray. And this time we didn't worry about that. But I am going to need to use that other ribbon. Oh my gosh, guys, guess what I did? I twisted it up. Maybe. It'll twist. Okay. Starting to panic there. And I'm working it off. Okay, so let's put these back on there. So you would have a couple of options. You could do a second roll of ribbon, especially since I have it here. And the other thing we could do is just cut this ribbon and make it smaller, or make the frame smaller, but I think that that is not going to look as good. So we'll just go ahead, open up this other ribbon, and use that. So what I was saying when I talked about matching up the ends last time, we used hot glue. And last time I just butted them up like this, but what I should have done is ran them side by side so that it was more like a continuous piece of ribbon. So that's what we're gonna do this time. You don't need very much overlap. Hopefully I'm not sticking it to the table. No, not too bad. I think my dining room table has so much hot glue on it from all of these projects. Okay, so let's try a different technique again and see if we go back to this, if we like that or not. I think it probably doesn't matter. Either way, it's gonna snag. And that one's being really difficult. You want to kind of keep one ribbon close to you so you can, I'm probably even doing this off the camera, I'm sorry. One ribbon close to you so you can kind of guesstimate your size that way. Oh, brother. So if you were homesick for a couple days, what would you be binge watching? I'm curious what shows you guys like. I feel like we have binge watched about everything binge worthy. There's like The Witchery or something that keeps coming up on Netflix. And I think that looks like it's going to be pretty good. But other than Sunday morning news, I really don't watch much. And Survivor, I really don't watch much on TV. Everything else is on Netflix. I really should have my daughter do some of these projects and they could count for 4-H. Then we'd be done ahead of time. Now, what we were planning on doing tonight is decorating some gingerbread houses down at my sister's. And actually on Facebook, I saw another friend, they had decorated some gingerbread houses. And so I'm excited because I actually got some ideas of things that I can do. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Hopefully I'm feeling better tomorrow. I finally went to the doctor and got some medicine, so I don't get sick very much, and so I don't really like to go to the doctor. I'd rather just power through. But hubby said I needed to go. All right, so I'm really hoping this is going to turn out and look awesome since it's taken forever. So I don't, even though this one is taking a long time, I do think that the other ribbon took longer. And no Sunday sale tonight because I didn't plan on being here. And we will start Sunday lives back up next Sunday at 7 p.m. And I don't have my website live yet with items for sale. I legit had planned on working the last couple days at least on that, and I have not. I've seriously just laid around and done nothing, which if you have followed me very long, you know that that is very unusual for me to do, but I really didn't want to be sick over Christmas. So I told myself I needed to take a break. But the exciting thing is that my dad has been working on the barn, and I think that other than a couple of cosmetic things, all the structural things are done. So just need to get some cosmetic things done and get everything cleaned in there. And then we'll be ready to move stuff from the church, from the shop. And then I can tell that most of my ribbon's probably all twisted up again, so we'll have to lay it flat and untwist it. I would say I did not do as good a job staying even with my holes on this ribbon as I did with the wire. So I'm trying to make sure I don't let it come off, but I want to see if I need to keep going. I would say I do. And we're snagging again. So I really thought that this kind of ribbon was going to go so much smoother, but I would almost call this a Pinterest fail, although it does look cute when it's done. So we'll have to do a side-by-side comparison and see which end result is better. I mean, it's ridiculous how bad it snags. Well, maybe it's worth doing that. Okay, that one is on the bottom, so if we do this one on the bottom, we should be able to glue them. Let's see here. Okay, so I would say that Marilyn had the idea of gluing this, the wire, so I guess we could do that without burning my fingers. And then the other thing we could do is I was thinking this time I would use this ribbon to hang it, whereas before I used some of the red and white stripe to hang it. And so I think that might hold it together probably as good as anything. I would rather go long with it because you can always cut it shorter, and that might help it stay together as well. So if I go about halfway here, then I'm going to add some more glue. And we can hang it from that. That doesn't help us with this though. Probably glue that and make it look okay. So I'm just gluing the ribbon together, and I am going to have to go around our bar, our metal piece. So I'm just gluing it on each side to make it like one continuous thing. And then you would spread these out, and then once you hang it, as long as it's flat against something, it should be good. I don't think that you can like hang it up without it being on the back of something. We'll see here, because I think it's going to twist. So you'd want to have it on the back, and then you'd need to shuffle those around, looks like. I don't know why this side's staying and this side isn't. So I guess there's my second attempt at doing a candy ribbon wreath. Although I don't think either one of them were super easy or super quick, but gives you a couple ideas of ways that you can make it work. So thanks for watching, guys. Merry Christmas.